ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome to the study of the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which we were revising. The third chapter starts in a very commonsensical manner. In the first chapter, we have seen how Arjuna, with all his achievement and attainment as a warrior, as a statesman, as an intellectual, and etc., 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 he fails to cope with the demands of the situation, to fight a war, to kill his near and dear ones. And he miserably failed, and as usual, he wanted to run away. It's very commonsensical. All of us, we do in our lifetime. When you find such an unpleasant situation, I'm not prepared to pay the price for it. I just high-sounding philosophy, turn my back, put my tail behind my legs, and I quietly run away. And with high-sounding philosophy, I don't want this, I don't want this. Hypocritical to the extent. That is what we do. That is what Arjuna is also doing. And Sri Krishna would not allow him to make this blunder in his life. It is a blunder. Not it is a very intelligent thing to do. It is a total blunder. Therefore, Sri Krishna first speaks to him in a worldly language. What was that? He said, you have attained such a reputation. The battle has been declared. You have seen with whom you have to fight. And now you say you are not fighting and you are going to the hills and the dales to become a Swami, a monk. What would they think of you? They do not know what is your thinking. They would say you are a paper tiger. When it comes to crunch, you run away with a tail behind your leg, in between your hind legs. That's what you are. It's the worldly advice, loss of reputation. Nobody likes to lose its reputation. Sri Krishna talks in a worldly manner. Then he goes a step forward. He says, Arjuna, you are born as a human to perform your duties of life. You must be a man enough to pay the price to perform that duty. Where is your manliness gone? Klaibang masmagama partha. Don't behave like an imbecile. Behave like a man. That is how he inspires him. Then he suggests there is a technique of performing your duty with such an attitude, in such a manner that you will perform your duty, but however horrendous or heinous the crime may appear to be, killing, naivam papam avapsasi, sin will not be able to touch you. Introduction to an art of performing your duties of life in such a manner that you perform your duties of life, do whatever you have to do ethically and morally, but do it in such a principled manner that the sin that a human being acquires, it will not affect you. I will teach you this trick of the trade. samatvam yogamuchyate, yoga karmashu kaushalam, naivam papam avapsasi. You have studied all these shlokas. I'm reminding you, refreshing your memory. Sri Krishna says, I will teach you. And then he says, when you have mastered this art of performing your duties of life without any expectation of results thereof, you are preparing for a higher level of achievement. What is that? Sthita Pragya Brahmi Sthiti, the last section of the second chapter. Sthita Pragyasya Lakshana. Brahmi Sthiti is Lakshana. That you will be one with the Absolute. So, performance of duty, untrained, impulsively, as we do, we are exposed to sin. That is the eternal, infallible law of cause and its effect, cause and effect. If I do something vengefully, because of vengeful activity, I'm creating a cause which will give me a return by way of repentance. If I do it without any attachment, without any, I would say, inner involvement of vengefulness, spite, pique, revenge, I do it because I have to do it, and I do it as a pursuer of correctness, pursuer of thoroughness, pursuer of perfection, pursuer of excellence, and I do it as an offering to my God. The art of converting the concept of work, karma bhoga, converting that concept of work into karma yoga, that is, the concept of work evolves into concept of worship. We have heard everything. Arjuna has heard everything. He, like you and me, being first exposed to this idea, he's a bit confused. He says, sir, you claim to be my friend, my philosopher, my guide. You are my mentor. How come you're talking in such an ambiguous manner? You're asking me to fight this battle, Ghora Karma, where killing is involved. And at the same time you're speaking about Brahmi Sthiti and Sthita Pragya. What type of a friend are you? Instead of teaching me how to go into Brahmi Sthiti and to be a Sthita Pragya, you are telling me to fight. What type of a friend are you? He didn't say that much, but that is inherent in the first shloka of the third chapter. He says, you have been telling me this is this and this is this. Tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayashi keshava. You say that is Sthita Pragya, and you say the warfare, and being a friend of mine, a mentor of mine, you are denying me that, and you are putting me here. What type of a friend are you? Now, be a friend. Vyami shreineva bhakyena buddhi maya shiva me. My buddhi, my understanding is a bit confused. Tad ekam bada nishchitya. In an unambiguous manner, in a concentrated manner, tell me what I should do so that I grow into a better specimen of a human being. That is how the third chapter starts. He says, good enough, I will teach you. Now listen to me. In my previous talk, I theoretically analyzed fully the essential teachings of the fourth shloka. Na karmanam anarambhat, naishkarmam purushoshnute, na cha sannyasanativa siddhim samadhigacchati. Theoretically, I have explained it to you. In essence, what does it mean? Without performing your duties of life in a correct, possible, positive attitude, with an attitudinal correction, you cannot reach what is known as nishkama karma. You cannot. And if you just uttering certain vows, changing your clothes, without changing your mind's thinking pattern, you become a Swami. You will not reach anywhere. You will be rather deceiving yourself, trying to deceive others. You will be deceiving yourself. You will not reach there. Therefore, listen to me now carefully. I will now today highlight the practical aspect of this lesson. Karmanat anarambhat. Without performing your duties of life as you are used to. How are we used to? I am performing my duties of life. Trying to explain to you all the intricacies of the Gita. That is my duty. I am a Swami. I profess that whatever I have learned, I'll pass it on to you. Whatever it may be worth, this is my duty of life, to run this organization and this and this. So my duty is settled. I have to do this class of teaching and preaching. Good enough? As I am constituted, as I am used to, as I am habituated, I expect, while giving of my very best, I expect you will all understand and you will be appreciative of my effort. This is how I am constituted. This is what my habit of thinking is. This is how I have been born and brought up. Profit-oriented, result-oriented activity. So, after the class is over, you come and tell me, Swamiji, it was out of the world. And Swamiji hits the ceiling. He's so elated, so happy. He's being praised. And some of you genuinely come and tell me, Swami, you tried your very best. I appreciate that, but it went above my head. I did not understand a word of it. And the Swami is depressed. He falls on mud with a thud. What has Swami done to himself? Because of that expectation, I will be understood, I will be appreciated, I will be admired, I will be adored. On the borderline of being worshipped with respect. This is the expectation here, normal, natural, as I am constituted now. The end result is either I hit the ceiling or I am in mud. Like a pendulum between ecstasy and agony. Why? Because I have that expectation in me. When that expectation is fulfilled, I am in cloud nine. When that expectation is not fulfilled, I am in mud. be rational, be commonsensical, be logical. If I can remove this expectation of mine by re-educating myself, it's a process of education. If I re-educate myself, then what happens? I am told, have no expectation. If I have no expectation, I'll have no motivation. I'll have no incentive. Unmotivated activity is a contradiction in terms. It doesn't happen. There has to be a motivation to activate yourself. And you take away my motivation. My motivation is expectation of appreciation. You take it away and you say, you what? How can unmotivated activity take place? See how commonsensical it is. Let us be practical today. So what happens? Sri Krishna is trying to teach us that if you expose yourself to certain ideas, and those ideas slowly and slowly saturate your thinking and modulate your attitude, you say, yes, let me try. Oh, what a freedom! I have got rid of this expectation, and the freedom is I gave of my very best as a pursuer of correctness, pursuer of thoroughness, pursuer of perfection, pursuer of excellence. I did my job thoroughly, and what is my motivation? I am offering it to the Lord God of the universe. This is my worship. I don't know all these orthodox methods of worshipping. I have converted every moment of my life, and life and activity are synonymous. Every moment of my life is of some sort of activity, and that activity I have put in the fifth dimension, awareness of presence of God, and I have converted the concept of work into concept of worship. Let me refresh your memory. What is work and what is worship? Hold on to it for your lifetime. Work is physical activity, is work. Emotional activity is work. Rational activity is work. And I am the doer. I am involved in it. This involvement is egoistic activity. That is how my life flows. Work and activity and life are synonymous. My life flows. Now I am being told, add a fifth dimension. Get rid of this expectation. Instead of that expectation, let your motivation be not to be motivated by worldly motivation. Be motivated to convert the concept of work into worship by the fifth dimension, awareness of presence of the divine. I am working physically, emotionally active, rationally involved, egoistically I am the doer, and all that is being done as an offering to God. Motivation is offering it to God as a pursuer of perfection and excellence. He says, Na karmanam anarambhat, naishkarmam purusha ashrute. A person who is desirous of being a nishkama karmi, Nishkamasya bhava naishkarma. Nishkama bhava naishkarma. The virtue. And this is the activity. Nishkama karma. That is, I am not motivated, but there is one motivation: to be perfect, to be excellent, because I want to offer it to my God. That is my motivation. So, your question, are motivated activities not possible, is being answered. I have a motivation. What is that? Negatively, I am not going to be motivated by worldly motivations. And positively, my motivation is a perfectionist, a pursuer of excellence, because I am going to offer it to God. So, what I am doing, I am getting rid of that expectation, sakama karma. Work with an expectation, with a desire. I am trying to be so-called desireless. Anarambhat karmanam naishkarma naishnuti. If you don't start from where you are and then you educate yourself, no. I will be a perfectionist. I'll be thorough, I'll be correct, I'll be excellent. That is what my goal is. And I don't bother whether God is pleased with me or not. As I told you last time, Tatra Ishwaropi Vetushyatu iti Sangam Takta. I have got rid of that attachment also. What is that attachment? God will be pleased with me and He will pour His blessings on me. I don't want that also. Let God do His work, let me do mine. Therefore, work has to be performed. In those days, 5,000 years ago, Purva Mimamsa, that is the other part of it, where Yaga, Yajna, Vrata, Parayana, Tapasya, etc. Oh, it was exhaustive. One whole Veda is detailing that. That was the concept of karma. Now, thousands of years have passed. Now, what is karma? Our sense of duty. We are educated human beings. We have our sense of duty. Whether that is correct or incorrect, whether it's fair or foul, whether it's good or bad, whether it leads to mukti or bhakti, is immaterial. But we are bound down by a sense of duty. So let us interpret it according to the modern situation. The modern situation is there is not a single human soul who doesn't have a sense of duty. Perform your duty. Either as a Swami, as a brahmachari, as a grihastha, as an old man, banaprasthi, whatever it may be, you have your sense of duty. Make sure it is ethically and morally correct. And start practicing. Abhyasa, repetitive performance which creates a force of habit. Abhyasa is habit. I now, before I start this class, I pray to God, oh God, please help me. Let me not be guided by worldly motivation of being admired and approbated. Please help me so that I do it perfectly, thoroughly, correctly, and let this be a way of worshipping you. I try. I remember this attitude for 1 minute because of the past force of habit. After 1 minute, I've forgotten. But that 1 minute's effort leaves a mark in my psyche. I remember, oh, I've forgotten. I remind me again and practice it. So it's a tug of war between your determined effort and your past habit. You pull this way, you pull that way, you pull this way. If you are a devoted, dedicated, determined person, your force of determination, your willpower, that helps you. You repeatedly forget and you repetitively remind yourself. Every time you remind yourself and perform for a while, the force of habit is generating momentum. Force, mass into velocity is momentum. You have your past momentum. I don't know how many lives I have been doing so. This is the first time I am being exposed. That force and momentum is quite heavy. So, more willfully determined I am, and more repetitive I am, I admit I am liable to forgetfulness. But I also admit my willpower is there to remove that forgetfulness, and I remind myself. I am creating a momentum of remembering, and there is a momentum of forgetting. A time comes because of your repetitive, devoted, dedicated, willful effort, it grows in dimension and it neutralizes the past. You have done it. You have neutralized the negative force of expectation. You have neutralized by converting every moment of your life, which is an activity, into an endless worship of the divine. This is a practical aspect of this theoretical statement. Now Arjuna wanted to become a sannyasi. Sri Krishna says, from a kindergarten class, you are jumping to the master's course. Arjuna, you have not prepared yourself. You are deceiving yourself and you are trying to deceive the world. Nacha sannyasanateva. By uttering certain vows and changing your dress style, nothing will happen. Whatever happens, happens here. Transformation of your personality. Without that transformation, how will you reach that goal? You will be a hypocrite. You will be deceiving yourself, and in a futile effort, you will be deceiving the world. That's all that will happen to you. Sannyasanateva. Only for that sham show, you will not reach that goal. Siddhim na avapsasi. You will not. So what does it mean? Sri Krishna, from a common sense point of view, is explaining to Arjuna, through Arjuna to all of us, the students of the Gita, that look, don't run away. I am holding on to you. I am holding you, I am guiding you, I am holding your wrist, and I'll guide you along. Listen to me. The first lesson is, you are a karma bhogi now. You suffer the consequences of your expectation, fulfillment of your desires. You are a karma bhogi now. Please listen to me. Try to be a karma yogi. And when you are a nishkam karma yogi, the world does not tantalize you. The world does not tempt you. You are not involved in expectation of anything from the world. You are only involved in offering your whole life to the divine. You become from a karma bhogi to a karma yogi. Once you become a karma yogi, samattam yogamuchyate. Yoga karmashu kaushalam. These are the words that you have heard. What does it mean? It means that samatha, the ripples of your mind, has absolutely disappeared. It is like a sheet of glass, and the bottom of the tank is seen on the front. The mosaic work of your backyard pool is visible to you. Your true original nature is visible to you. Then you are worthy of being called a sannyasi. So here, dears, in the previous class, we discussed this in a theoretical manner, and I will request all of you to repeatedly hear the theoretical one and how to put it into practice. You are a head of a family, you have your duty. Perform your duty with full vigor. If you can cultivate more vigor, you are welcome. The more vigorous you are, more determined you are, more quick is your result. This is absolutely an arithmetical proposition. Time taken to achieve the goal is proportionate to the intensity of your effort. How intensely and for what duration you are doing that. Tibra Sambeganam Asana. Maharishi Patanjali was asked by his student, "Sir, I have understood the methodology. How long will it take, sir? How long will it take for me to achieve that goal?" And Maharishi Patanjali, without batting his eyelids, promptly says, Tibra Sambeganam Asana. 3 words. Tibra is intense, immeasurably intense. Sambega is urge. More intense your urge is, more imminent of that happening to you. It depends on you, not on the book, not on your teacher. It depends on you. So we have now understood the practical implication of this shloka, whose theoretical implication was very much discussed in our previous discussion. Now let us move into the second shloka. How do you, Sir Sri Krishna, tell me that life is nothing else but intense activity? There are so many occasions in my day-to-day life. I am doing nothing. I am lazing. I am sleeping. I am browsing away. I'm doing nothing. There are occasions when I do nothing. But mind your word. You say, I am doing nothing. What does it mean? It means you are doing something which you call by the word nothing. I am doing nothing. I am doing. So, life and activity are synonymous, obverse and reverse of the same coin. And what is that activity? Egoistic involvement. I am the doer. Kartritya Abhiman. I am the doer. I am intensely active. I am relaxing. I am tired. Therefore, I'll meet nobody. I can't do justice to that meeting. I am, and I am doing something. And that doing may be nothing, may be relaxing, may be sleeping, eating, talking, doing my duties of life. And technically, medically, when you are proclaimed dead, when the doctor examines your whole body and says, the brain shows no activity, the heart shows no activity, the lungs shows no activity, none of the body organs show any activity. Therefore, you are clinically dead. No activity, that's why you are dead. Life and activity are obverse and reverse of the same coin. So when Arjuna says, I will not fight, I will go there. You can't run away from your own shadow. Wherever you go, there is a light, and your shadow is following you. You can't run away from your shadow. The concept of work is ingrained in your ego. I am means I exist, and the next stage is I am doing, or I am active. So now Sri Krishna teaches you. Let us read the 5th shloka. Nahi kaschit shanavapi jatu trishtati akarmakrit. The first line. Kaschit jatu. Whosoever is born as a human, kshanavapi, fraction of a moment, akarmakrit, I am doing nothing. You are doing something which you call as nothing. You are active. Karjate hi avasha karma sarva prakritijair gudair. Those of us who are the victim of Trigunatmika Maya. Why? Because I do not know my true original nature. I know myself by my name, by my form, by my qualities, by my utilitarian value. I do not know myself apart from these 4 concepts. I am in the domain of Maya. In the domain of Maya, you are always involved with some sort of activity. This is an axiomatic truth. Sri Krishna tells this axiomatic truth that don't think by running away from performing your duties because they are unpleasant, because you don't want to do it, you don't make a better man of yourself. You are rather denying yourself from being a better man. Because the purpose of study is to make myself a better specimen of a human being, and that concept of betterness is to be one with the divine. Nahi kasyit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit karyate hi avasa karma sarva prakriti jahid. In this world of ours, before you realize and experience your true original nature, Satchidananda Swarupa Atma, Nirakara, Nirguna, Nirvikalpa Brahma. That is your true original nature. Before you know that, not only knowing intellectually, before you experience that, you are in the domain of Maya. And therefore, you are identifying yourself with what you are not. This is the two shlokas which are extremely important, a foundation to start your life, to change it from karma bhogi to karma yogi. I have no other way to find my soul, to find my true original nature. I have to go through this grind of making repeated mistakes of forgetfulness and create in me that concept of converting work into a worship. And when I have mastered that, I have mastered the art of being a karma yogi. The whole world's move around. I am not involved. You will find it in this Gita a little ahead. He says, Guna guneshu vartante iti matva na avishanchati. This whole world is a play of Maya, and I am the eternal witness, Chetana, Chitta, that is my Chaitanya Swarupata, my awareness. I see even this body-mind complex is functioning. I am the eternal observer. That is the goal. To reach that goal, this is the procedure, step by step by step. Just like tertiary education, high school, college, university, then further studies as a research scholar. You have to grow. You can't jump over. Whatever it may be, dears, these two shlokas are the foundation of the concept of karma yoga. Now Sri Krishna is becoming more descriptive and to some extent assertive. Let us read the 6th shloka. Karma indriyani samyamya. Let us stop here. First quarter of the shloka. First half of the first line. Karma indriyani samyamya. What are the karma indriya? Hastapadapani upastapayu. These are the 5 karma indriya. Hasta, hands. Pada, Pani, the hands. Upastha is the excretion. Payu is the excretion. The bottommost excretion point, the upper excretion point. Two hand palms, the hands. These are karmendriya. Karmendriya sanjamya. Karmendriyani sanjamya. I don't act. I sit like a statue. I do not allow my 5 active organs to work. I sit like a statue in a meditative posture. Ya aste, he who is like this, a person, he sits in a meditative pose and he doesn't allow his active organs to move. He's stating as a stone. Karma indriyani sanjamya, controlled, ya aste, but manasa smaran, his mind is roaming everywhere. His body is like a stone figure, a statue, in a meditative posture. His active organs, body or limbs are not working, but his mind is roaming around. What do you think of him? Listen the second shloka. Karma indriyani sanjamya. Ya aste manasa smaran. But his mind is remembering 1,001 things, though he has controlled his active organs. He has a control on his physical body. What do you think of him? Will you listen to what Sri Krishna thinks of him? Indriyarthan vimuratma mithyachara sa uchyate. He is called a person, mithya acharana. In short, he is a hypocrite. He is deceiving himself. He is going through self-deception. Why? Indriyarthan vibhuda atma. He is such a confused idiot. He is such a confused, stupid ass that he doesn't know that he is intensely active with his mind, enjoying the whole world through his mind. His body is in its proper place. Mithyachara, that means his acharana, his behavior pattern is acharana, mithya is false, self-deceptive, hypocritical. This is what we are. We meditate. Instead of thinking of God, we think of something else. And I say, I have meditated. How long have you meditated on awareness of presence of God within you? That is the measure, not that you still sit still and your mind roams about. You are cheating on yourself. Mithya achara taduchyate. And don't be a stupid ass. Don't be an idiot by trying to control your body and without controlling your mind, and you enjoy everything of the world through your mind. So, this is one extreme of self-deception. What is the other extreme which we must follow? Read the 7th shloka. Jastu indriyani manasha niyamya Arabhate Arjuna Karmendriyair Karma Yogam Asakta Sa Vishishyate. Sa Vishishyate. He is praiseworthy. He is worthy of imitation. He is worthy of being my ideal, my hero. Who is he? Jastu Indriyani Manasa Niyamya Arabhate. A person whose mind is totally under his control. And Hari Maharaj Swami Turiyananda ji used to always give this example. Like a well-trained, disciplined dog. Your mind should be like a well-trained, disciplined dog. You call the dog, come here. It wags its tail and comes to you without any dissent. Sit, he sits. Stand, he stands. Jump, he jumps. Run, he runs. Fetch me my ball, throws the ball. Absolutely a picture of total obedience. Obedience to whom? The will of the master. You are supposed to be the master of your mind. You are supposed to be that master of your mind. So your mind should be to you just like your well-trained, well-disciplined dog. Don't, and the mind doesn't. Thinks. Put your mind there, let it stay there. Stay here, it stays there. Till you ask him to move. This is what is niyamya. Indriyani niyamya. Aravati starts his life. He is supposed to be karma yogam ashaktam. He is totally detached from this world. Such a person is worthy of praise, worthy of imitation, worthy of adoration. Vishishyate. He is an excellent example. What is that? Karmendriyair karma yogam asakta savishyate. All his activity of the body is dedicated to God. Let me summarize now. Our life should be so well trained, well disciplined, well educated, well cultured, that it rotates around the awareness of presence of God every moment of our life. That is the first thing. Once that happens, you are really a karma yogi, you are a bhakta, you are a jnani, you are a yogi. All integrated into your personality. Your jnana teaches you he is everywhere. Your bhakti teaches you to behave with the world in such a manner as if you are behaving with your God all the time. Jnana, bhakti. Yoga means total control on your mind. And karma yogi means let your life flow, rotating around the awareness of the divine. Every moment of your life is a worshipful attitude to the divine. This is the sum and substance of the concept of a karma yoga, and to be a karma yogi accepts that you are a karma bhogi now. And you will make a karma yogi of yourself by converting the concept of work into a concept of worship. That is, 4 highest common factor. The 5th factor is the awareness of the presence of God. That immediately converts your karma into an upasana, a worship. This is how Sri Krishna starts the 3rd chapter. Na karmana manarambhat naishkarmam purushoshnute nacha sannyasanativa siddhim samadhigacchati. Then he says that nobody in this world alive who is without a sense of duty and who can remain without any activity. Nahi kasyit shanavapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit karyate hi avasham karma sarva prakritijair godai. Then the last 2, the practical aspect of it, he says, karmendriyani sangyamya ja aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudatma mithyacharas tadochate. That is a denigration of self-deception. Don't be a stupid ass. Don't deceive yourself. But what is a positive aspect? Jastu indriyani, a person whose indriyani means plural. All his 5 sense organs are under his control. With that he continues to live. And he says, karmendriyair karma yogam. With his body, with his mind, he is interacting with the divine all the time. Asakta savishishyati. He is not attached to the world, he is attached to his God. Don't get attached to the world, get attached to your God. And you will become a karma yogi thereby. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much for your attention. And I pray you put it into practice. There's something very important, I'll tell you. It is not a post-dated check. That is, you do now and enjoy the results thereafter. The very moment that you see you're living with your God, in your God, you're serving Him, interacting with Him, an indescribable joy then and there will be available to you. No post-dated check. It is a cash down payment. Once you do it, you get it immediately. And that becomes your incentive to get that joy permanently with yourself. So don't think I do it now, I get it later. No, it is instantaneous. This and this are the same. The ananda of a karma yogi does not come later. It comes while you are practicing. Thank you, friends. Thank you ever so much. We'll carry on with this study during our next session. Thank you.
Om शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।